He passed away from a totally different issue. So that was crushing to me. He was really kind of my soul bird. And I said to myself, one day I'm going to start an actual nonprofit rescue and I'm going to name it after Moose. A few years later, that's what I did. So he's still here in his way. Moose was just ridiculously funny. He was a very big pigeon. He was super clumsy, didn't fly very well. He just made me laugh all the time. He just was so full of life and so joyous, and he flirted with everybody and tried to steal everybody's food and danced in front of the mirror. And he was just this big dork, but he was so great. He was a very gentle giant. We called him the sheriff. He'd kind of go on patrol, check everybody out, see if there was food around, but he really never bothered anybody unless they messed with his bath time, and then he would chase them. He really liked his baths. He was kind of a benevolent leader. My name is Jenna Close, and I am the founder of Moose's Flock, Pigeon and Dove Rescue. Moose was one of the first pigeons I adopted. One day, a little ring-necked dove showed up in my backyard, and I figured out that he was domestic and very young and needed help. So I rescued him, I built him an aviary, I got him a mate. His name is Killer, and he's still here. And then a couple years later, 2 lost racing pigeons showed up in my yard, and by that point, I had a better idea of what was going on. So I decided to build them an aviary and just have them as pets. And it turned out that Moose, he was never really healthy. We thought that he had a respiratory infection. We were treating that for a while, and then it wasn't getting better. And the vet I was working with just kind of said, well, maybe it's heart disease and we can't help you. And it's often really hard to find vets that can care for pigeons specifically. I ended up finding another vet. She's on my board, and she's very experienced with pigeons. So I brought him to her, and she found out he had a disease called mycobacteriosis. And it's very difficult to treat. You can only put it in remission. And most people who receive that diagnosis, they decide to euthanize them. But I didn't want to do that. So we decided that we would treat him. He got medicated 4 times a day for a year and a half. And he did great. He turned into a completely different bird. His life really changed. He had this spot above the ramp on top of his nest box. And he had ramps because he couldn't really fly. He would just lie up there and make sure nobody got past him, and just looking like king of the world. So content. His ability to relax and loaf was just unparalleled. I remember the first time that he actually flew. So once he started feeling better, he started moving more, and he actually flew up to the highest perch in the aviary, which totally blew my mind. I think it blew his mind too. We became good friends. He would eat out of my hand, and he'd come running over for treats and do little grunty noises, and he loved peas and lettuce. He would get really upset if the lettuce and pea plates didn't come out at the same time every day. He was a teddy bear for sure.